Hey everybody, it's Erin Reed, and today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute bucket. This is a dollar store bucket that you can put vinyl on. This is an SVG file that I have created that includes the bubbles, the words, and the scallop circles in the background. Same printable, same thing as also making these printables that are on these bubble wands, which are going to be for my daughter's birthday party. It's an outside distancing party. Let's jump in and I'll show you how to make it. So the first thing I needed to do is start collecting all the colors. Now I based the colors off of the wands and off of the ribbon, and this was a total fluke. I got this at the Dollar Tree, just happened to be fun colors that look like mermaid, and these all came from Amazon in a pack that had, this was the only 4 colors that they had, and I think it is like 5 of each or something like that. So a really good deal, and links are down below. So I matched my vinyl with the colors that I had, and then I made a printable to match with all of it. So it works out well. All right, so these printables are so easy. All you need to do is cut them out. They're already on a PDF file that you can print out, and there is 9 on one sheet. They're already 2.5 by 2.5, and they're super simple to cut out. So all you need to do is cut them out and then get a hole punch or something, and you can cut these with scissors or whatever. So simple little hole punch. Punch in the corner, whatever corner. You can punch in the middle, the corner, really whatever strikes your fancy here. And you can punch either corner, it does not matter. You're gonna have a whole bunch of these in the bucket anyway. So punch, punch, punch. I've already cut some of the ribbon off of this little twine, and there is a lot in here. This is just a little gift ribbon, and there is 400 feet in this thing. And like I said, the colors could not match any more perfectly if I tried. So first thing is you're just gonna take your ribbon, go through your hole. If you want to match the colors and go super matchy, you're more than welcome to, but I'm going to mix and match them. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with just tying a knot onto the bow itself, right? And then I'm going to go around and just tie a simple little square knot. Just go square, tie, tie, right over left, left over right. Granny knot works great too. And then take your scissors, because this is that kind of awesome ribbon that curls up really good, and give it the little curly cues, and boom, you're done. And then it's a cute little something, and it just says, thanks for making my party a splash. So you could use this same printable for a lot of things. You could use this one for obviously bubble wands, if you're gonna pass out like super soakers. I mean, think of anything that has to do with bubbles or water, it definitely works. And there's blue and there's pink. It's all just fun colors, so it's very unisex. It kind of goes both ways. So it's just an awesome little printable that you can use for a lot of different projects. Okay, so now I gotta finish putting all my little labels on these guys. Now it's time to cut the vinyl to put the label on the box that all these are gonna fit into, and add some fun little vinyl onto the wands themselves. All right, the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to upload, which is over here in the corner, and you're gonna upload any images. Now, these are the 3 SVG files right here. And so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna do the scallop. So we're gonna open up the scallop, insert image, and you're gonna wanna come up to this space right here, and we're gonna change this to be, we're gonna do this all in the pink vinyl. So the pink vinyl, we're gonna actually cut this one to be 6 by 6. And we're gonna have this one go all the way in the corner right here. There we go. And we're gonna actually put the yellow vinyl on top, of which I've already cut. So the yellow vinyl is gonna be a 5.5 by 5.5, and then the pink vinyl is a 6 by 6. So it's got that double layered look. We're gonna go in and we're gonna upload the next file now, which is the words. So normally you can go in and you could upload image right here, and you would pull it from your computer. So if you can notice, you can do all these different files. The SVG file, you don't have to worry about trying to do any kind of weird masking. Now it comes in nice and big, just size it down. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna change the color up here, and we're gonna just make it purple, just for fun, so we can see really easy. And then you're just gonna grab the corner here and size it down. Now remember, we wanna have this fit into the 5.5 by 5.5. So this is gonna be a little bit smaller of a space. And so we wanna have it fit about right there. You know, if you wanna go a little bigger, and if the words overlap and things like that, when you're layering all your vinyl together, totally cool. So we know that this is a good sizing. You can kind of play around with exactly how big you wanna have that. So there we go. Move it back over. Now, what we're gonna wanna do, if you went ahead and click Make It Right Now, it's gonna shift everything over, and it's gonna try and cut this onto 2 different mats. We don't wanna do that. So we're gonna cancel this. We want to instead, you're gonna go down to this corner where it says attach. So you're gonna click attach. That means all of this is together. We're also gonna hit Control, and we're gonna hit select both items and we're gonna attach both of those together. So now everything is together. So if you go into Make It, everything is gonna be there for you to cut exactly as you see on your screen. But we're not done yet. We don't want to cut all of this in pink. I mean, you could, but we don't need to. We don't need to cut. We're going to cut them like we see on the cut file that I've given you. So the only word that is pink is the thanks. So what we're going to do is we're going to unclick all the other letters here, which you can see off to the side. So we're going to unclick the S and see how they just disappear. The P, the 4. So we're just going to unclick everything, just go down the line, that is not part of the thanks. And so now we have the thanks and we have the scallop. You can go to Make It and you can see everything is there now, and all of this will be cut when you cut with your pink vinyl in your mat. So hit continue, and the next thing you're going to want to do is select what kind of base material. So go to Popular, or Popular is the easiest one. Vinyl is what we're cutting. Everything is set into, all I need to do is load my vinyl. So now I've loaded my vinyl, everything is already set. The last thing we're gonna do is hit the little Cricut button. Computer and machine are all connected, so just hit cut, and you're ready to go. Okay, so we are done doing the pink. Now we're gonna move on and do the black. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna reselect and see everything again. We wanna open it back up, but we don't wanna change the size because we wanna keep the size ratio for everything. We are going to undetach all this mess, and we don't need to do any more with the scallop, so we're going to get rid of that. And we'll just go ahead and push this over. Now, these are still attached, but all I want to do is cut the For Making My Party So we're going to get rid of the splash part, and we're going to get rid of the thanks part. And there we go. Okay, and so there it all is. We want to make sure that this is attached, and you can just double check it to make sure it's there. And look, it's all connected. Go to continue. And we're gonna want to select vinyl. Now I've already gone through and selected some of my favorites, so plastic vinyl. So you can go into Popular and you can select, but just by putting a little star next to them. And if there's any others that you really want to have, for instance, if you're really into, I don't know, I want to cut a bunch of tulle. So if tulle is one of your main ones, you can do that. Obviously I don't want to do tulle, so we're gonna get out of tulle, go back, and we want to select vinyl. So that's going to be your default. Make sure your mat is loaded, which I need to do next, and then hit cut on your cutter. Now it's time to cut. All right, so we are done cutting the black. We want to reselect all the colors again, make sure they're all there. And this time we're going to do the blue, which is the splash part. So we're going to get rid of the 4, get rid of everything else but the word splash, and then go ahead and click Make It. It's still attached, so everything, even though the S is not connected to the rest of the word, it will also cut as one piece. Hit continue again, make sure everything is connected, and we're going to go back and cut vinyl, and then go ahead and cut your vinyl. So blue is in, cut away. All right, so we are done with all of these words. We're going to get rid of that. The last thing we're going to cut is we are going to cut our bubbles. So you can go through and select the bubbles. So there they are. And I'm going to select my bubbles to be about 10 by 10. So I just think that's about the right size. It fits nicely on the mat. We're not going to get giant bubbles. We're going to get about normal size looking bubbles, which is good. And so we're just going to go through and select all these bubbles. Now, if you want them to cut and save space on your vinyl, hit Make It, and you're going to see it's going to start sorting them on your mat all and save as much space. Now, these ones are not worried about it being in a certain order because I'm just going to pull these bubbles off and place them on the wands and on the container exactly where I want them. I'm just going to place them as I need to. But if you want to cut them exactly as you see, like I've given you in the SVG file, just go down here and click the attach button. It gives it a second because there's a lot to attach, so just give it a minute. It's got to think. There it goes. So just give it a minute and then go to Make It. And it's going to start sorting everything. It takes a quick second to kind of get going. Be patient with it. It's got a lot to digest here, and you can see the little circle is going. And then you can see it's going to cut exactly the way that we had put it on the mat. So if you did want to cut other colors of bubbles, if you wanted to do like this quadrant a certain color or whatever, then you could leave it as is. I want to cut these and save as much space because I'm going to do it all in white vinyl anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and click make it, have them all lined up just like this, hit continue, get it all sent over, click on vinyl, and get this cut. So I always do it as cut. So after cutting everything out, the next step is to start weeding. Now I have cut out just the small section of where the vinyl is, and I've already done it to all the other colors. Basically, you're just gonna pull off the excess and leave behind the cut print. So the hard part is getting a little corner. There we go. And it should pull clean off. Now these big ones are gonna be easier. The smaller stuff you may have to kind of hold behind. So that's where you have this little tool. You can kind of hold as it pulls. There we go. And it should just pull clear. Just careful of the little bits that don't stick to each other. And there it is. Look at that one. Clear to the edge on that one. All right, so now it's all about layering. So I'm gonna leave this, actually there's a little bit more weeding I need to do. There's a little bit of That's where this little tool comes in handy. Just make sure you pull out your bits from here. And I think there's one in K of the thanks. So I have 2 scallops I'm gonna layer on top of each other. The best way to do this is with masking. Just cut off a section of that transfer tape. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add it to this piece first. So I add it to the front. There you go. And this transfer tape is reusable over and over. So I am going to actually do this a little bit different than the original design. I am going to go on an angle with it and kind of catty-wonkus it. So place it as a fun layer. And then that is how you layer that. So I made a mistake and used the wrong one. I got a little nick. So this one's got a little bit of a felt tip to it, a little pressure guide, and use it and get as much of that bubbles out of there as possible. We're gonna end up covering that part up, so I'm not too worried. Just keep working it until all your bubbles are out, and you can hear them. They're kind of going. It's like snap, crackle, pop. All right, next we're gonna add in our word thanks. So I'm gonna take the same transfer tape, nothing wrong with that. Add that in, make sure it's on there nice and good. Use that tool to really press in there, get it attached. And I'm gonna add my words like one layer at a time. Place that on there. Pull up, whoop, don't get the back layer. We just want to get, there we go. Pull that clean off. Again, rub to make sure everything is good. And then we're gonna keep on applying. So I'm gonna do the splash, and then I am going to do the for making my party. We're gonna add those there. I'm just gonna speed this part up for you guys. So this is the vinyl version of the digital print, and so it's super simple. If you want to add more layers to the back with the scallops, if you want to spread these pieces apart, you want to make the thanks, everything is super amenable. You don't have to keep anything the way it is, but all the shapes are in the SVG file. Now it's just about taking this big giant thing here. So we're going to get the whole thing stuck to the vinyl, and the whole thing fits. Everything is now stuck to here. Pull this off. Now we have one giant unit that we can transfer. So all we're gonna do is very carefully place this on the front, right smack in the middle. And this is something that can be removed down the line. Use your tool. It's a little flexible and kind of, this is really floppy, but it'll still work just fine. It's got these little ridges, so make sure you're really kind of getting in there with all those ridges. Hang on there, good. And then lift this up. And it's one unit that you place on there. Now you have this really cool bucket with this really cool emblem that you can use to put all of our fun little bubble wands in. All right, the last piece is I also die cut a whole bunch of bubbles, and I'm just gonna place these by hand. So I'm just gonna pick these off and put our bubbles on. Now the cool thing about these bubbles is some of them have a little hole that's missing. Well, guess what? You can use just that plain little hole and pop it on there. If you want to grab a few on your transfer tape, you can then come in and start applying a few onto your buckets wherever you want them. And so you just kind of plop in little bubbles wherever they need, however you want to transfer these little guys on. Just pop them on, make it look like you've got little bubbles happening. You can have even some of your bubbles kind of overlapping. And this little guy right here, I wanted to keep his little inside bubble, so I'm actually going to move the big bubble, leave a little guy, and move the big bubble. And you can have them overlap, you can have them on top, but make it look like there's little bubbles everywhere. So you can take the bubble wands that have already been decorated, and you can attach some of the fun bubbles, if you want to your bubble wands, just to make them a little more personable, a little more fun, and just kind of add a little bit of something. 3 or 4 bubbles per one. Just kind of snagging them off with my fingers. And we're just putting them on there kind of randomly, so it doesn't matter about where exactly it fits on the bubble wand. It's just a little something extra that each wand gets to have. So here it is, completely done. The fun little bucket, the dollar store bucket that's got the vinyl on it. It says, "Thanks for making my party a splash." And then inside we have all the bubble ones with the cute little bubble vinyl pieces on there, with the printable that you can find, both the printable and the SVG files, for making your own on my store, airnudemakes.com. And it's just a super cute thing. Links for all the supplies are down below. I absolutely love it. It's so cute. And thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, everybody.